2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. Now, it's the Open Mic Talk Show.
It's the Open Mic Talk Show, live on CRN.FM. And now, here's your starting.
Hey, what's happening, family? Good evening. You're just in time for another edition of the Open Mic Talk Show with the incomparable Super Soul Sister, our resident superstar. She is Cara Black. Yay, yay. Where's my hand claps? Where are my hand claps? Where my hand? Come on, hand claps. There we go. Also, he's the originator, not the duplicator. He's one Darnell Swift.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
All right.
It's my best vampire.
Well, by the way, I'm Carl L. King II. So, with that being said, welcome to the Open Mic Talk Show. So, sis, before we get started, what do you have coming up? Where can they hear you? You know, what's going on with you in entertainment?
Entertainment-wise, well, I'm going to be down in Guthrie next weekend for the 15th or 16th. Another Pink and the Floyd. It's a full-blown show. It is amazing. We've got lights, we've got videos, we've got synchronization, dancing. If you're a Floyd fan, this is a show you do not want to miss.
All right.
Another Pink and the Floyd.
I can dig it.
At the Pollard Theater in Guthrie.
All right. G-Town. Darnell, what do you know about the Pollard?
Well, I know that the Pollard used to be called the Melba Theater.
Absolutely.
And back when I was a kid, I used to go to the Melba Theater. I could take $2, get in to see a movie, with some popcorn, a Nestle's candy bar, and a Coke.
Good times.
And that was in 1865.
Good times.
Right after the Civil War.
Good times.
Right after the Civil War.
They had Nestle bars back then.
Good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. You know, speaking of Guthrie, I would definitely put Guthrie, as far as small town America and their eateries, up against anybody's in the country. Guthrie has some absolutely superb food back in the day. Come, Darnell. Oh man, let her in. Oh my goodness, sis. Real talk. Really, really. I mean, from the Hut, the Parker House, Wormsley's. I mean, just so.
PCs.
Back in the day. Oh my goodness. Back in the day, Sonic used to have onion ring competitions. They used to cut, every Sonic used to cut their own onion rings daily, and every year they would have a onion ring competition. The Guthrie Sonic owned division just dominated the thing. I mean, come on, Darnell, let her in. Tell her, man. I'm telling you, it was. Oh my goodness.
It was amazing. It really, really was.
I can't believe, as we sit here and talk about this, I can't really believe that a town that size had that much great food in it. The Hut, oh my goodness. Okay. All my fat people say, oh. Whew. All right. So we probably should talk about some current events and things. And, you know, I'm sitting here thinking about dinner. But I digress. I digress. Okay.
Coach Waltz.
Okay.
He's the guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think she chose wisely?
I do. I think that, you know, we always hear the term about balancing a ticket and, you know, can this particular vice president, you know, help you in this state or that state and whatnot. But I really think that he balances the ticket from this perspective. Not just because he's, you know, an older white gentleman, you know, paired up with an African-American South Asian lady, I think he balances the ticket just ideologically because, you know, he speaks in such a plain, simple, kind of folksy, Midwestern type of way. I just think it's a great fit. I think that we talked last week, at least I did, about momentum, you know, and everything. And as I was talking with Carl before the show earlier today, I was talking about the optics of it all. You know, and Carl had mentioned a moment ago about just the crowd size between the two rallies. It's just, I think there's something happening that's not really quantifiable. And I think he just kind of adds to that.
Great perspective. I thought it was going to be Josh Shapiro, actually.
I think he did too.
With the way everything was set up, they had the rally in Pennsylvania. I just thought it would be Josh Shapiro. For whatever reason, when they were having conversations that led up to her choosing her pick, they were at her residence, and supposedly he didn't do really well on foreign policy. But that's neither here nor there. She chose Mr. Tim Walsh, who's a folksy gentleman, and he got a little fire to him too. He'll get with you. He made that little couch reference, and I was impressed. I was impressed. I like it.
Jokes.
I like it. I like
Right,
that. And guys, the nerve of the Trump campaign and the Trump followers. Oh, so we're gonna go down there and we're gonna be down here and call folks names, as if you guys are some bastion of the way how to treat people and how to talk to people with caring and concern. You guys are just gutter on the regular. What they don't like is somebody is giving it back to them.
Right. Yeah.
That's what they don't like.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the speech last night. He was very on point. Today, listening to them, he was kind of running through the same greatest hits. I didn't like that, but it's a different space. But now they have all this television coverage, so it makes it a little difficult, for you to do something new and spontaneous. And maybe they don't want him to do that. Maybe they want him to stick to the script and just hit the points where people are happy, mind your own damn business. Yeah. I say that all the time. You should mind your own damn business.
Absolutely.
And that's sort of what I was, referring to, and Carl used the word folksy. He just speaks in a language that we speak in. And I think that is the diametric difference between what we're seeing in this Trump campaign, where Trump gets up there and everything sucks, and these people suck. And if these people will get power, then we're going to suck. And we're not going to have a country, and everything is bad. And, it's not, I wouldn't say that, we are at the hope and change level, but the energy is so similar. They exude confidence and hope and change, but the message, like Cara just said, mind your own damn business. We ain't going back. We're not going back, These messages are not very complicated. Everybody, if you think about make America great again, well, when was America great? When I was a slave, or when I was living in segregation? Or we ain't going back. I know I'm being grammatically incorrect. We're not going back. Many people feel like we have been regressing. And that is so simplistic, but so powerful, I think, at the same time. We're not going back. And, of course, they're weird.
Well, yeah, they're definitely weird. Josh Shapiro spoke to that a couple of weeks ago. He said, quit down talking America. All you hear coming from that camp is negativity, how downtrodden America is. Why do you guys want to be a part of this country if it's so bad? Why don't you leave, take your money, and go somewhere else? You talk about America regularly in a bad light, in a bad way. Why do you want to govern this country if you feel so badly about it? Why?
Yeah, exactly. I listened to a little clip of his phoned-in interview, Mr. Trump, and that's all he could do. It was
Right.
like, do you have anything good to say? Well, when I was in there, but they're gonna, the Jews hate them, and he kept referring to them as them, and I was like, what is that all about?
Uh-huh.
That was just weird.
Very weird. Very weird.
Yeah, and their new nickname for Tim is Tampon Tim. That's what the Republicans have came up with.
I mean,
Right, which basically on social media has backfired on them. And
It
they
has.
were calling him, it basically has, because all he wanted to do was make sanitary products available to kids in high school and middle school. What's wrong with that?
But sometimes can't afford it, and things happen. When your body is changing, you might become a woman, and you're sitting in class. So what do you do?
guys, that actually
only has so many.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. That actually happened to me in 8th grade civics class. That actually happened, and it was traumatic.
You became a woman?
No, not me. I watched that happen. I watched that happen in class, an 8th grade civics class. It was traumatic for the young lady.
I would imagine it was. And here's what I'm saying. I heard on the flip side of that, the reason they were doing that is because when he put that into effect, they had a big uproar because he also wanted to put them in the boys' bathroom. And the reason that he said we're going to put them in both is because there may be some transgender, some young people struggling with their identity.
Uh-huh.
And if there is, then we want it available to everyone. And guys, I think also that if you look at the rally that Harris and Walz are having, and you look at the rallies that the Trumps have, it is so starkly obvious that the Democrats are the whole diaspora of America. You see everybody there. Again, when you look at a Trump rally, what do we normally see? I'll let you guys answer the question, but everybody knows what it is.
Blacks for Trump.
The same people in a Winnebago traveling all over town with the same sign.
Well, at that rally today in Wisconsin, the thousands and thousands of people who were there were shouting in unison, "This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like." In unison. I know when Rump was watching that, it didn't make him feel well. It didn't make him feel well at all.
Carl, you've said something that's been really interesting. You've pretty much said you think this is a done deal. It's a wrap.
Absolutely. It's a done deal, but we've got a couple of ways to look at it. We need to look at this upcoming election in two ways. Obviously, we have the voting and getting out the vote and getting people fired up. That's done. There's nothing at this point that Trump can do to combat this. It's done from that perspective. But he's got some, what do they say, some SH in the game. He got some stuff in the game, y'all. He's got some stuff in the game. One of his last rallies, he shouted out 3 Georgia election officials by name. They stood up and waved, and everybody cheered and hollered and screamed. They now have given Georgia election officials the ability not to certify votes. Also, they're looking at another aspect where various county officials have the ability to delay upon inspecting the vote. So, if this is not struck down before the election, Donald Trump will be installed by the Supreme Court of the United States.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they're going this route. You know, it's already. I mean, he's already signaling that I'm going to lose. You know, basically from his actions, everything that he says, everything that he does, I'm going to lose. I know that the popular vote, I can't win that, but if I have these particular entities in place where they can, you know, do my bidding, then I can delay it. I can, like you said, and get it pushed back and to the Supreme Court. But they really don't have any legal right to do what they're saying they can do. It's not really legal. And I think they're going to get a lot of lawsuits.
They had stopped it before. They had stopped it before. That's for sure.
Well,
they're going to have to stop him. They're going to have, they're going to have to stop him. He's thrown so much stuff against the system. Like, I mean, think about the stuff that was dropped, the emoluments clause. We found out the guy received $10 million in black garbage bags and $100 bills from the country of Egypt. Now, this guy is lawless. This guy's doing so much stuff. He's just throwing it up against the wall and see what sticks. They're going to have to stop him because he's going to make it happen if he can. We're going to have to stop him.
That's it, if he can. But, you know, we already peeped his game. You know, they are already on it. They are already looking into it. And there is going to be a lawsuit. There's going to be, you know, only thing I can see is like if President Biden was to do something, you know, some executive order.
Darnell, what's your perspective on that? Because
well, my thought has been since 2020 that if Trump runs again, they're going to do everything they can to try to steal the election. And I don't put anything past them. We don't have a Supreme Court that's trustworthy. We have a system here which allows county officials to certify, and it's just we've got a lot of problems. But I do believe that if they do this, I think people are going to be ill with it, and I think we could very well see not necessarily a bloody revolution, but we could see some real strife in the streets of America. I don't think people are willing to put up with it. I mean, everybody knows that the Republicans are not trustworthy. We saw what happened on January the 6th. We just should be prepared. I have a friend of mine who said that if there is a revolution, that he's already, you know, kind of made strategic plans to go through his neighborhood with firearms. I tried to discourage him from that. Yeah, man, dude was like, I'm gonna go through my neighborhood and start shooting people. And I was like, Carl, I mean, it wasn't Carl. I don't know why I said Carl, but you know, it was somebody. There was somebody that I talked to, you know, a lot of times on Sunday afternoons and Wednesdays, you know, and I was like, hey, you know, I don't know if that would be a good idea, sir.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh, man, I tell you, man,
Well, I understand the sentiment. I do understand the sentiment. People will be angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of things happening out here on these streets, and we have to be aware. We have to stay abreast of what's going on, you know. Yeah, man, we have to stay abreast and keep our eyes and ears open because he's going to do everything he can to disrupt this election. But not only Georgia, guys, this is happening in other key battleground states across the country. The thing about one of his things that he's done, they're great at this. They're really, really good. They're masterful at this. The tactics of delaying. If you can somehow push it out through these various states where they won't certify, ultimately, who's going to be the final decider? Mr.
Supreme Court.
Clarence Thomas, Mr. Alito. Clarence Thomas was just outed again for not filing another high dollar trip with Harlan Crow. I mean, again, I say this all the time. What is we gonna do? The democracy that we grew up in, that we thought was mom, apple pie, the American eagle, and all of that stuff, it was all a facade, guys. It was all a fallacy. It's not real. It's the illusion of inclusion. Now, Trump has definitely put pressure and exposed the system. Now, do we want this as an American country? As Americans, as patriots, do we want this? Not the fatriots, because that's what I call the Fox and the MAGA crew, fatriots. I'm talking about the real patriots, the people who have sacrificed, who've been through all sorts of stuff in this country, but we keep it afloat. What do we do? What is we going to do, man? Are we going to fight for this thing? Or are we going to just give up, sis?
Well, we're going to fight. We are definitely going to fight because we ain't going back. We're not going back. So, I mean, we need to get as many people registered to vote. There are a lot of millennials that are, they're turning 18. Let them know, we when they go back to school, they should be getting registered to vote.
Mm-hmm.
It should be as simple as that. I think like nationwide, you should send them your registration, boom, in the mail. So they have no excuse.
Right.
Get it done.
That's right. That's right.
Get it done. But we also have to look at all of our local elections as well. We have a school board here in Oklahoma coming up. There are certain people who have certain ideologies that they want taught to our children. They have certain books they don't want them to read.
The Bible.
Ones that they want them to read.
The Bible.
Which, they're talking about the woke indoctrination. But what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? So we have to stay on that, be accountable, because it's not just the presidential election. It's the president. Of course, they're the head leader of the United States, but it's our local government that is making decisions that affect our lives in all our communities.
Darnell, didn't you say that you were in favor of the Bible being taught in school?
Absolutely.
For all these young heathens, all these young heathens who are doing wrong in the community?
Yeah. Sunday school in my church is the place where the Bible, that's the only school the Bible should be in. That is absurd. That will not, well, in a normal court, you would say that won't stand up in court. But this court is not normal. They are abnormal, to say the least. One of the things that I kind of think as I've been watching this play itself out is I think that we're in a totally different space as far as this particular election is going. And Cara just mentioned a moment ago about, the young folks, right? Being engaged.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe, and I talk a lot about the right-wing echo chamber, and we talk about cable news and the presentation of events and how, it is sometimes the real shaper, if you will, of the narrative that people talk about. Mm-hmm. I think this time, because of younger people, because of social media, not so much Facebook anymore, but TikTok and Instagram and still maybe Twitter X, that people are engaging with each other in a number of different ways, and things, all these memes that are coming out and you see on social media, I think is going to have a bigger influence on how people participate, not necessarily how they vote. I think it's going to encourage and bring a whole new voter. And I do not think that the Republicans are aware of that and they are on top of it like the Harris campaign. And I'm just really anxious to see how this all plays out at the end of the day, because I think this is going to reshape the way campaigns are done. Because think about it. She's only had about 3 months to do this. It's a really short campaign for her.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really short, but they have been really, really good. One of the things that shocked me, guys, was the fact this is the same crew, the same campaign crew who was running the re-election bid for Joe Biden. But they're moving at a much different rate, in a much different way. This guy will go out on the stump, will say something foolish, and like 25, 30 minutes later, they've got an ad up all across the country. I mean, they're doing, the campaign team is doing a phenomenal job for Kamala and Brother Tim. They're doing great work, man. I mean, as soon as this guy puts something out, they have an ad on it. And it's one of the things that I like about the ads, they're super simplistic. They let Trump talk, and then Kamala comes on. I approve this message, and it goes off. She didn't say anything. Yeah. She just let them talk, and they're so effective. That's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say something about voting. You know, we live in a digital age right now, and it seems like if you can vote for American Idol on your phone, why can't we vote in the presidential election from our phone?
Oh, no.
You know, seemingly more people would participate.
No. They don't want that. That'll never happen. No. The Republicans will never allow that.
I agree with that. I think they want to make it complicated, Cara. They don't want it to be easy.
Right.
And the more complicated it is, the more discouraged a first-time voter or someone who's on the fence is. I have a friend, and we go round and round and round. He talks about issues all the time, and he doesn't vote. And I keep saying to him, you really don't have an issue. You don't have an opinion on an issue, because the only way that you can really voice your opinion on an issue is when you go to the ballot box. Well, I live in Oklahoma, it's not going to count. Well, yeah, it's a tough sled if you're not voting red in Oklahoma, but you still need to participate.
I agree. Do you guys get those text messages from different people campaigning?
Yes.
Okay, I got one today from RFK Jr.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Oh, they want people to start canvassing Oklahoma, attending events to help shore up, votes for him as an independent candidate. How do you guys feel about independent candidates?
Well, I got an RFK text as well, sis, but he was asking me for some bear spray. That's
really weird.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be opening up for Cara and Pink Floyd in Guthrie in the next couple of nights. You can catch me just opening up, warming up the crowd for the band. So I'll be there. You know what I mean? Doing my thing. That's right.
Yeah, another Pink Floyd did not approve that
message. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in the midst of the biggest, baddest name in talk. This is the Big Bad Open Mic Talk Show. Cara Black, Darnell Swift, Carl L. King II. Well, guys, Tulsa. They're working on some things right now to provide, I guess, housing and some money, some things for the last two surviving members. And they're going to do something collectively for North Tulsa, because that's where the massacre occurred. Don't know the timeline. June 12th, the state Supreme Court basically shot down the lawsuit of the two last remaining survivors. The situation in Tulsa it's so powerful and so strong. It's hard for me to talk about. It really is. It's heartbreaking. It is to think that you could have the best business model in the history of the world. It could be burnt to the ground. They did not pay the insurance money. They built it up again. The thing that's interesting, I want to say real quick, sis, one of the things that I found interesting about Tulsa and the whole race massacre deal is most people have the misconception that when it burnt down, that it was over. they don't realize that it was built back even bigger and better. Desegregation is what ultimately ended Black Wall Street in Tulsa.
So they wanted. It was basically, seems like to me, it was envy, because they have all this money, and they are using their dollars within their community, and they're getting richer, and everybody's supporting one another. But the people on the other side across the tracks, they're like, well, we want some money too. We got businesses over here that you could come spend that money with us. But it was like, we don't need to, because we've got our own people who are doing the same job but better. And this is our community, and you don't come over here and spend your dollars with us, so why would we spend our dollars with you?
Happened all over the country. All over the country, guys. All over the country. So basically, the Tulsa mayor, Darnell, I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in real quick. I just wanted to point out something before you spoke about this, sir, and got your perspective about it. The Tulsa mayor has basically formed a commission, and they're going to study this thing to see how they can best serve the community going forward.
Sometimes you hear what a politician says about a study, or we're going to look into this or look into that.
Right.
Some things just don't really need to be looked into.
Okay.
Some things are truly evident right off the top. If you want to do what's right, just do what's right. Everybody knows, well, I shouldn't say everyone, a great majority of people knows what happened in places like Tulsa and Rosewood. And anybody who is a victim of that should be compensated. You shouldn't have to, stall out a couple of hundred centenarians, right?
That's right.
This is true. It's really appalling to me, particularly, Blankenship up there in Tulsa. Because, his family is a wealthy family. And it just, to me, this is so obvious what's going on. It's really sad, in my opinion, because this should have been addressed a couple of decades ago. This probably should have been addressed 50 years ago.
Guys, could you imagine how much different Oklahoma would be if Tulsa was left in its proper place and left alone, if you will? Man, Tulsa, Oklahoma would be quite a different place. Quite a different place.
Tulsa might be Atlanta.
Right?
Tulsa is one of the most successful business models in the history of the world. Several hospitals, grocery stores, all self-contained. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that we want you to be mindful of and be cognizant of, this not only happened in Tulsa, it happened in about 20 other municipalities across the country, all black, all thriving, all burnt down, all pillaged through some form or fashion. Ultimately, bringing these communities to their knees where they are non-existent.
Yeah, I don't want to get into his story. Yeah. Boomer sooner. Yeah.
Definitely his story, for sure.
Yeah, it's the more you learn about history as you get older and you seek out different places to get that knowledge, it can be discerning. It can certainly make one feel a little bit detached from, the mainstream of society, because the mainstream of society basically did this to our folks.
That's right.
And in other more subtle ways, they continue to do it. I think that's one of the reasons why this campaign is attracting so many people. It's like they are saying, we're not going back. I mean, it's just time to turn the page. We've listened to Donald Trump and his vitriolic, mean-spirited, hateful approach to politics. And I just really think that maybe the better part of the country is about ready to just turn its back on it, because
I sure hope
he
so.
can't win an election with just his base. It's not possible. He's got to have others.
Cara, he keeps talking about how he does not need your vote. He doesn't need any more votes. That's, Donald Trump has a problem with basically showing his hand. He does it regularly. Do you think he's doing it this time?
Yes, of course he is.
You're right.
Boy,
don't know when to hold him and when to fold him.
He's like, he's not even campaigning. When I saw that,
right?
When I listened to that interview today, he was calling in. He was probably on the golf course at Mar-a-Lago. He's like, I don't have to go out and stump. I've already, the fix is in. I got this.
Yeah, well, Roger Stone, one of his cohorts, was secretly taped, Darnell, speaking about how they have quite a few judges in their pocket. And Mr. Heritage Foundation spoke about, we're in the midst of the revolution. It will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. He also stated that even though there's a buzz in the air for the Democrats and them other people, fear not, because we are winning. We have some things going on behind the scenes that we're not willing to share right now. So, Kamala. At least I'm not like Trump and call her. What did Trump? What did he call her yesterday? What is his latest little Kamala, or what is it? What does he call her?
Some kind of crazy nonsense.
This stuff is so incredibly tired. Like Darnell, you spoke it. This is just. Come on, guys, give it a rest, man. Please,
right,
cut it
absolutely.
out.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw someone on, I don't remember, someone sent me a TikTok or I think it was a TikTok. But there's a lady, and she just flat out says, hey, they are deliberately mispronouncing her name. Let's not be fooled by this. This is a racist trope. Her name is three syllables. Kamala. Kama, like in, grammar. And la, Kamala. It's not hard.
Kamala, chameleon.
Right. You can say Shashevsky. You can say Stephanopoulos. You can say Schwarzenegger, but you can't say Kamala.
Pretty good, Darnell.
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real.
I like that, Darnell. That's pretty good.
Right.
Pretty good, Darnell.
Right.
That.
I mean, it is a racist trope. I mean, she is not a wrestler. She is not Kamala, the Ugandan warrior. Okay. I mean, she's not. I mean, it's just, it's well, I mean, that's what, look, this is the time to turn the page on all this nonsense. I mean, we've been dealing with this dude for almost 10 years. Let's beat him in the election. Let's everybody go vote. Let's lock him up.
That's right. Lock him up.
I'm with that, man. I'm with that. We should start chanting that. Lock him up. I like it. I like it a lot. Speaking of chants, guys, I haven't seen anything like it in quite some time. Thousands and thousands of people on cue, on point. This is what democracy looks like. It was amazing. More to come.
Yeah.
More to come. More to come.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, we always enjoy being with you. You can catch this show every day at 2 o'clock p.m. on O City FM HD. We are the people you know, the music you love. Real radio is back. Sis, what do you have for me in closing?
I just want to say, people, do your part. When we vote, we win.
I like that. I see what you did there. I like that. That's good. I do. I like that. Okay. I like that. Brother Swift,
Don't fall for the okie doke.
Don't do it.
Don't listen. Don't listen to the pundits. Don't believe anything. Be a participant. Get registered if you're not. Be ready to vote. Check your registration to make sure it's valid if you are registered. We got to win this thing.
Well, with that being said, I'm Carl L. King II. Thank you for tuning in to O City FM HD and another edition of the Open Mic Talk Show. Let's get back into the music. Stay close.